It's not just Christmas, every holiday sucks. It's not just Christmas, everything we celebrate is fucked. What about your birthday? Just means you're getting old. Congratulations, you're almost 50 and you still gotta do everything you're told. What about Halloween? You get a mouthful of cavities. You're gonna get fat, so what you think about that? You're gonna get diabetes. What about the 4th of July? Yeah, let's blow some shit up. The USA is fucking lame. America can lick my butt. What about Valentine's Day? You'll spend it on your own. Nobody loves you, nobody ever will. You're always gonna be alone. What about Thanksgiving? What are you fucking dumb? Celebrating genocide isn't something I'm a fan of. What about Easter? Don't you think zombie Jesus dead? If Jesus came back, he'd have a heart attack, and we'd probably hear him say,
guys, it's not just Christmas that sucks, it's every single day. And Christmas is my birthday, in case you forgot. You guys really screwed this place up. I was just saying.
It's not just Christmas, every holiday sucks. It's not just Christmas, everything we celebrate is fucked.
And I guess here we go again. Greetings, everyone. This is the Garret Schuelke podcast, episode 10. I believe this is episode 10.
We're in double digits. Woo!
Yeah, I know. It's technically this is the second Christmas episode of this podcast.
Nice. What was your first one with Adam Stroshine?
Yes, it was yesterday.
Nice.
And today is the second Christmas episode with Victor Kahn, local Alpena resident, musician, meme god.
Nice to be back. I enjoyed doing the last one. This should be fun again.
Yep, I'm very glad to have you back as well. So, let's just jump right in. How have you been, Victor? We haven't seen each other since September, I believe.
Yeah, it was September. I was just starting a job at the Fresh Palette. I'm wearing their shirt.
Nice, got swag.
I just quit that job. I just gave in my 2 weeks notice because I was working 61 hours a week because about a month after we did the podcast, I got a job at Meijer. So I was like leaving the house at 8:30 in the morning and getting home at 11:30 at night.
Oh, really?
And I did that for 2 months and then decided I can't do that anymore.
Well, was it on good terms? Or?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And they
Okay.
would have me back in a minute. It's just I really can't work both jobs anymore.
All right.
One paid minimum wage, the other paid $10.80. So
basically a little over minimum wage.
yeah, and I'm in a union at Meijer, so that's nice. It's
Yep.
the first time I've ever been in a union.
Yep, USCW.
Yep.
How's it feel?
So far, no different than being a normal employee. Really, their union mostly comes into play if you're in trouble for something, and then they got your back. They tell you all the rights and responsibilities.
Yeah.
Ish, kind of.
I remember USCW, and yeah, I'm a union guy, radical socialist, and yeah, as much as I support the concept of unionization and all that, I wish they would be a little more active.
Yeah. It's hard because like the things that they would want to fight for would be higher wages and better working conditions and giant big box retailers for the most part are just gonna be like, well, there's like 300 people in line for this job, so I guess we'll see you later and we'll hire some cheaper people.
Yeah, sadly, they're not as tough, if you want to use that word, as say the steel workers are.
Yeah.
But they're not as shitty as the Teamsters are.
Yeah. On your scale of union corruption / effectiveness.
Yeah. Have you, well, I don't know if you really kept up or heard of it, but you've heard about basically the UPS, how the Teamsters kind of screwed them over on their contract?
I had read a little bit about that, but not a whole lot.
Dude, if you really want to see some fucked up shit, some real union corruption, just read up on that.
Was that so like the Teamsters could get lots of money from the dues from these people, but not actually protect them very much or get them better working conditions?
Well, I guess to give a little summary off the top of my head, basically the Teamsters, with the Hoffas are still running it, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
which is another reason why I personally don't like it, but that's another thing. But anyway, they're basically trying to push this new contract onto UPS workers, and the workers didn't like it. One of the reasons was because I guess they were going to try to combine like full-time members with like part-time drivers or something. Basically, they're going to combine these positions that would basically fuck over the workers in pay, benefits, hours. And there's big upheaval about it. So finally, they just forced it on through, and now team members, particularly ones who are vocal about it, are kind of getting fucked over right now by management.
Find themselves sort of with less hours and worse routes, stuff like that.
Yep,
like
that.
Stealth intimidation tactics.
Yep, classic. I've been keeping up on it.
It's like me and Fourth Amendment jurisprudence. It's just one of my hobbies, and it's not anything that I'm not a practicing lawyer, but I'm always reading blogs about, search and seizure, stuff like that.
Oh,
stuff
yeah, those are always interesting.
Relevant to people that, drive cars a lot. And you find that once you drive a car, your Fourth Amendment rights kind of go out the car window.
Really?
Yep. There's lots of exceptions to the Fourth Amendment when it comes to automobiles.
Oh, yeah, it's more like shit like, well, okay, we won't search your car, but we'll have our dog sniff around it, like that kind of
stuff like that. And it's supposed to be illegal for them to hold you until the dog gets there, but that's common practice. You just like slow walk the ticket, and the dog showed up just in time. All right, and then a sniff doesn't constitute a search and stuff like that.
Moral of the story: cops can get away with anything.
For the most part, although in these days of smartphones and always-on cameras and things being distributed to the cloud, it's getting more and more difficult for the average American to not see some of the abuses that happen. I mean, it was one thing for us to all watch Rodney King on television when we were younger, but now it's like every day there's a new cell phone video of a woman just trying to sit down and having her baby ripped out of her arms and arrested for trespassing because she was trying to get benefits at some sort of state office and there weren't enough chairs, so she sat on the floor and the security guard said you can't sit on the floor, and then it escalates from there. Yeah, that's just the most recent one that I read about.
Yeah, in my dear city of Grand Rapids, there's been a lot of controversy about this, obviously, but our police department seems to really like handcuffing and pointing guns in the faces of 14, 13, 12-year-old black children.
Yep, I've read quite a bit about that too and seen some of your posts. I saw somebody, they had a video and it was like an alleyway and the cops were just being jerks to everybody. It's like, everybody back! And it's like everybody's got their phone out, but it doesn't matter because they're just slapping phones out of hands and manhandling people. Oh yeah,
it's god-awful. Actually, the chief of our police just recently resigned.
Really?
Claims that it's totally not because of all these controversies. No, not at all.
He's just ready to go spend more time with his family?
Yep, as they always do.
Yeah.
They love their family so much that they're just going to finally retire, coincidentally, after all these controversies.
I can see how that would be kind of a shit job to have because everything that goes wrong you're punished for, and anything that goes right it doesn't matter. But at the same time, you made your bed, you got to sleep in it. That's the position that you've chosen.
Well, the position is key word here because you are a cop. You are in that position of authority. You're basically state stormtroopers.
State-sanctioned violence.
Exactly.
Distributors. Incorporated.
Yeah, one of my earliest memories actually here in Alpena, when I heard of basically anti-cop rhetoric, it was at a show down at the band shell, and I was sitting there with my folks, and I see a guy with a white t-shirt, and on the back has a cop pointing and says, "Hi, I'm going to kick your ass," and get away with it.
Yeah, I heard lots of stories from my youth of people being manhandled, especially, and it's a lot of it is just what is the tactic called? Pain compliance. If you're not doing what they want you to do, then it's stress holds and stuff like that. And
stop resisting,
stuff like that. And most of the time, it's do what I say or I hurt you, even though what I say might not be within completely the color of the law. So
honestly, being a white gentleman from Alpena, Michigan, I was lucky to be spared of all these horrible things that law enforcement tend to do. probably the closest thing that happened to me when I was skateboarding in my preteens. I was trying to learn how to ollie, teach myself how to do it, so like I'm trying to jump off the curb and failing. Cop then pulls up and just rolls down his window. This is guy's like classic jarhead, like he had like the haircut and everything. He points at me and says, "Hey, don't ever do that again. Do you hear me? Or I will get out and break your skateboard." I'm like, okay.
Nothing like a little extrajudicial punishment there.
Yeah, so then later on I'm like crying because he scared the shit out of me. And, well, of course my mom, it's okay, Gary, pat on the back. Dad comes in, why is he crying? I tell him, well, don't fucking skateboard on the road, stupid.
Oh, the wisdom of fathers. Well, don't fucking do that.
Yeah, we get along a lot better now, let's put it that way.
That's nice.
Anyway, before you continue our conversation, yeah, you work at Meyer now.
Yep, and I like it a lot better just because I really like helping people. I like dealing with people. I come in and I just have a smile on my face that can't be wiped off. And
Well, you can help me out right now then. Where's all the Super Nintendo classics?
Super Nintendo classics? I see NES classics. I haven't seen any. They probably got a limited amount and they all got bought up.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I actually won a $100 gift card for my job on Thursday.
Nice.
So yesterday, before I did the podcast with Adam, I was going around doing errands. I decided to stop into the Meyer here to see if they have any Super Nintendo classics. Didn't have any.
Did they say that they were just out, or did they like shake their head and say, "We don't even know what you're talking about"?
Yeah, well, oh god. Yesterday was actually kind of everywhere I went was kind of bad customer service.
Really?
Yeah, and including at Meyer, I go up, guy's on the phone. He puts down, and he's just staring at me, wide-eyed, mouth open.
You
like,
want something? Why would you want something?
Yeah, he didn't even speak. I'm like, "Hi, you got any Super Nintendo classics left?" He like didn't move his head. He kind of like look his eyes over, points. There's a Nintendo classic right there. Turn around, and I'm like, yeah, I know that's a Nintendo classic, but do you have Super Nintendo classic? They discontinued those. We don't have any more ever in. Like ever in?
Because I did read recently that they're not going to do any more of those. They're not going to have like a GameCube classic or
Really?
Yeah, which you would think that's just a way for them to print money, but
I haven't read that, but I do absolutely hate Nintendo's practice of discontinuing stuff, limited time, then they'll bring it back.
it's like the McRib. It's like what do they call that when you manufacture demand for an item? It's like, all right, here's something. Now we take it away. Now you want it even more.
Yeah,
that is great marketing. Like I have to, applaud them for being able to make people want things that they probably already have sitting in a closet somewhere, or can be bought, or not even bought, but just downloaded for free as an emulator.
Oh God, I have a guy at work who was like that. Like when Super Nintendo Classic came out, he's like, "Why would you want to buy it? Just go online, get an emulator." I'm like, dude, I don't have that technical know-how like you do, for one, and two, I want something that I can just sit on my TV and play.
And plus, it looks cool. I mean, it
really
looks
totally.
Cool. People come over like, look at my tiny Nintendo, isn't it so cute?
Yeah, I know, and it's great. I own one. Like, it was 2 years ago when the Nintendo Classic came out, all out in Grand Rapids. And I get here in Alpena, I go to the Meyer there, I'm shopping with my mom, and there it is, literally the last one. It was like sitting right there, square in the center of where I guess they had the Nintendo Classics, just there, a little bit crooked. I'm like, holy shit.
It's a unicorn.
Yeah, pretty much, like I just couldn't believe it. It was one lone one. This is like shit you see out of like Christmas films.
It's the last Tickle Me Elmo.
Yep, but luckily for me, I was able to get it before like I try to get it and some our dickbag snatches it up like right then. Another classic Christmas trope. Then you have to battle it out with them. Hijinks ensue.
It's kind of nice that Black Friday isn't as crazy anymore. Like stores have figured out how to manage the crowds of people and
True. on an ethical scale, that's true. But
it's still terrible that like I had to work Thanksgiving. Like I literally was with my family for about, I don't know, 45 minutes. As soon as they went to cut the turkey, oh, look at the time, I gotta go. Can we fix you a plate? No, I really gotta go. Because it would have been just me carrying a plate into the store. I was lucky enough, though, that my cousin actually, he dropped a plate off like the next day. So I was able to eat Thanksgiving in the break room of Meyer, and it was nice.
Nice.
It was cold, but I didn't care. I like cold food.
Yeah. So it was pretty, Black Friday at the Meyer here was pretty calm.
It wasn't too bad. I mean, I didn't see any fist fights.
Yeah,
Nobody
that's what I was
really
about to
rude
ask.
or-
Like, no fist fights, no people pepper spraying each other.
You really don't see that as much anymore. There aren't as many like cell phone videos of people brawling over electronics
Yeah,
or
I know,
stuff like that.
Well, this year there was a news story of a guy who got arrested because he was wearing like a polar bear suit. He was going around smashing up tents people had because they were like tent outside.
Oh God!
waiting.
Talk about cosplay taken to a too far level.
No, that's the type of guy who's clearly not doing it for the lulz. He's actually making a legit political statement.
Yeah.
Like, you should be home with your families. You should be loving the world.
I agree with his message, just maybe not his methods. As much as, sometimes when I see crowds of people, I just want to yell at them, "Go home, be with your families."
Well, Victor, some of us gotta be Martin Luther King, some of us gotta be Malcolm X.
Yeah.
So yeah, other than that, how's life here in Alpena?
Pretty boring for the most part. I've just been working a lot, like so much so that like what little time I have off, I just lay in bed and watch YouTube videos because I just don't have the energy to go out and do anything. I am signed up, however, to play a show. There's a new all-ages venue in Alpena called the Merch Table.
Oh, do tell. This I'm actually very interested in.
You should check it out. It's on the south side of Alpena, right by kind of where the old Dunkin' Donuts is. There's a Zen gym. It's in a little strip mall. So it's on one end of the strip mall, the north end. And it's legit. They have beautiful speakers, a very nice system there. They've got a stage. The building looks pretty nice from what I've seen. I missed the first show, which was on, I think it was last Saturday. And they actually had some bands, like high school kids, playing. So there's bands again in Alpena. I think a local metal band, Catharsis Theory, that I know one of the guys in that, Kevin Sitek. I went to high school with him. Their band played, a couple more bands played. But coming up on the 12th of January, I think 78 Revolutions Per Minute, Rob Bruce's band, will be up. And a couple others. I think he's bringing maybe a band or two with him from Grand Rapids. I forget their name offhand, but yeah, that's going to be happening. I think I'm going to be opening.
American Zombie Inquisition, Deadeye Zach.
Neither one of those. It wasn't ones that I was familiar with or had seen on a lot of flyers. So they might not even be Grand Rapids bands. They might be from some place completely different.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, there's shows happening again in Alpena.
Very nice.
And that's pretty much what we talked about on the last one. It's like, hey, if you build it, they will come.
Yeah, very quickly though, I don't want this to come off as rude, especially to the owners here, but okay, it's an all ages venue.
Yep.
Is it run by like some kind of Christian ministry?
Nope. It's run run by a guy that I'm pretty sure his name is Andy, and the other guy's name is Chris. Chris used to set up like the shows at Frequencies, which was the last all age venue that Alpena had, which was downtown by the old Sherwin-Williams paint store.
Yep, I've been there.
And that, I think, got shut down because they didn't have enough exits and bathrooms. But this one is totally legit and should be a fixture in the community for a while. I think the guy...
Very nice.
One of the guys that started it has like some sort of t-shirt business, and that was doing well enough to where he could take some of those profits and reinvest them in the building so that now there's a stage and a sound system. It all looks really nice in there from the videos and the pictures I've seen. So I'm really excited about that. I think they're shooting to have 2 shows a month, which would be amazing. That's something that we really didn't even have back in the day. It was like, maybe once every month or a couple months. Every once in a while you'd have a bunch of shows in a row, especially during the summer, but no.
Or you have like a weekend festival or something.
Yeah, something like that. But no, this should be really good. And I don't see any conflicts unless, somebody starts breaking windows or something, but I don't think that'll happen. I think the community, I think that, and the first show was well attended from what I hear. It was a good first show, so.
That is awesome. I'm really glad to hear that.
And I think they are even putting out feelers to see what Michigan bands people would want to see there. And if anybody with the right connections contacts musicians and get them in touch with the people at the merch table, you can look them up on Facebook. So, yeah, I think...
The merch table.
The merch table, yep.
I will actually be looking them up. I will be like that annoying guy that'll like tag people or bands and stuff. Like if this is a call out, like, hey, we're looking for bands for the month of February.
Well, one of the bands I thought of, and I don't think they have any Michigan roots whatsoever, but they're just a band that I see on Facebook a lot doing sort of DIY touring, is this weird band called Bubblegum Octopus. You probably never heard of them. They're like
I never have actually.
noisecore weird digital band, and it's just one guy, and he'll do stuff with like Game Boy sounds, and
Of course.
it's an interesting group. My favorite song by them is "You're a Bad Cat Man," and it's like metal, but also like pop at the same time. It's really hard to explain. It's like scream noisecore metal, but at the same time, it's like cutesy. It's hard to explain, but I would like to see that guy live. I've seen some like YouTube videos of him, and he puts on this amazing show where he like leaves nothing behind. He like just sweats, blood, tears, everything. Just go, and it looks like a pretty good show.
Yeah.
Maybe not music for everyone because it is a little bit screamy, but I find it hilarious for some reason. So
Yeah, has that? Yeah, what have you been listening to lately besides that band? Anything in particular?
Trying to think what there's this new punk band called Idols, although they don't want to be considered punk. They're really aggressive. I remember
Idols.
watching like a KEXP, and by the end of it, like they're all just sweating and dripping, and like they're super aggressive. Trying to think who else I've been listening to. I watch like a lot of YouTube videos from studios that do live concerts. I'm trying to think. Audio Tree is one, and then like KEXP is another, and then I watched a lot of Tiny Desks.
Yeah, I attended the last day of Audio Tree Music Festival in Kalamazoo this year. Saw Father John Misty.
Nice.
He was badass.
Nice. Trying to think who else. Some of the bands that I've discovered through there, like there's a band called Slothrust that we discovered during the days of doing radio, and I've been watching a lot of their stuff recently. The singer, she just seems like she's bored and having an awful time, but I don't know if that's if she's just putting that on or if that's just her personality.
Like Lordi or Lana Del Rey.
Ish, kind of, but at the same time they're playing like aggressive, punky, rocky music, so it's a weird, clash of different things. I like, there's this one, I'm trying to remember her name. Now I'm thinking about Lana Del Rey and I can't get her name out of my head. Something in the Stampedes. There's this band, Something in the Stampedes. I've been listening to like old shows that I have on CD because NPR was on like a month-long pledge drive and it was driving me crazy.
Oh god, I hate that stuff.
I support NPR, but like just the banter. Their banter was just cringe. It's so much cringe.
Dude.
Like terrible segues. Like just like if I give you money, will you go back to the music? Like please.
Patton Oswalt has a really great skit about NPR about why he supports it, but it's unlistenable radio.
I agree.
But yeah, look it up. It's actually very, very it's very relevant to NPR today, which I still listen to. I mainly do it for news and commentary and all that. But when it gets to like human life event stories and that, it's like boring.
There are times where like I've been listening to Terry Gross and I just want to punch the radio because she asks uncomfortable questions sometimes, and you can tell the person that she's interviewing doesn't want to talk about it, but she won't let it go. I remember there was this one time that she was interviewing Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and like he seriously had to tell her to back off. He was like, I don't want to talk about this. I've already told you I don't want to talk about this. Please, let's stop talking about this.
The show I didn't like, and this was back when I got out at 2 p.m. or earlier. We now work from 6 to 10. 410s, was the Diane Rehm show.
Oh, my stepdad really likes her.
Well,
Her voice,
it's-
though, it's her
That's
voice.
the reason. Like,
And like her content is great, but if you can't get past the voice,
I know the content is great. It's just why we'll listen to mostly political stuff. And this has come from someone who sounds like he has Down syndrome. I can't get back at the voice. It's the Diane Rehm show.
I understand that, but at the same time, there's certain, like the band NoFX. I love them to death, but there are a ton of people that can't get past Fat Mike's voice, and I get that. But at the same time, sometimes you have to let the content overrule whatever hang up you have with the production. But at the same time, like if you're gonna listen to it for an hour straight, that can be a tough sell.
You probably shouldn't really pay much attention to the content, or else you might just ban NoFX.
Yeah. Well, that's always been them. They like to poke the bear. They like to say controversial things.
Well, they're actually performing again at I guess Camp Anarchy.
Yep. This past one, I know some people from Alpena that went. I think Jesse Tomchek went. And they like confiscated all their beer at the gate, and then we're selling them.
I heard that too.
Overpriced, terrible beer, and so I guess here's the sequel. The first one was terrible. Let's do her again.
Very punk rock. Well, two things on the NoFX when before they did the whole. Well, at least his country fans they got shot.
Oh God, no.
Well, two things.
Fat Mike, no.
Fat God, Mike, what are you doing? No, but I guess apparently it was a corporate is sponsored by a corporation or something. So it's like, well, first of all, you shouldn't have done that, guys. That's kind of shitty. What you expect? And two, this writer I like called Jeff Burke is another big punk rock guy, and he just said straight up like, yeah, well, if you think that's controversial, you should listen to some Leftover Crack.
Oh, is there a band called Leftover Crack?
Yeah.
I've never heard of them. I'll have to check them out.
Crust punk, anarcho punk band.
Crust punk.
I mean, if you want real controversial stuff, Stizza Crack, the guy who leads it, has absolutely no qualms about saying what Fat Mike did. Like, Fat Mike was joking. Stizza Crack would actually mean it.
Yeah. Although sometimes I think Fat Mike might mean it just a little bit. Either that or he really likes causing controversy.
Oh yeah, he does.
I mean, they did write a book called like The Hepatitis Bathtub.
I own that
stories.
one. One of my favorite books.
I just within the last 6 months, I watched a big interview when they were releasing that book, and they started telling stories. And the El Jefe one, where he was like counterfeiting money, and like they brought in the feds brought in the psychic, like that. I was just like, I love this. I love every second of this.
Yeah.
Where he's just like he was trying to think other thoughts, so that the psychic couldn't get into his brain.
Yeah.
It was just like, this is just classic.
Yeah, this is one of those things where, they're definitely the band itself consists of individuals where it's like, you read it, it's like, how are you still alive?
Yeah, how are you still alive? How are you not in jail? Like
how can one person endure all this insanity?
And it just makes great music, I guess.
Yeah, I did too really like how they talk about Punk Voter, because that's actually how I got into NoFX back in the day. Was high school, they had Punk Voter up, and they had the War with Errorism album came out, still one of my favorites.
Yep.
A lot of the tracks there really still stand up.
Oh yeah, because ain't shit changed for the most part. It just got worse.
Well, not just that, like 13 Stitches. She She nubs. She's nubs.
Oh, she's nubs. Yeah.
Separate of Church and Skate.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
The idiots are taking over. Then there's some that they're still good, but they don't really hold up, like Franco Un-American.
Franco Un-American, I think, was a product of its time and
place.
Yeah,
totally. And listening to it now, I still enjoy it, but I can't help but wonder whether Fat Mike is kind of poking fun at liberals, or if he's like really that naive that it's like, I'm watching Michael Moore expose the awful truth. I'm listening to Public Enemy and Reagan Youth. Like, oh, come on.
Sometimes I think when you're just in search of a catchy hook, and I think Rivers Cuomo suffers from this a lot. But like you can end up saying some kind of silly things, but it rhymes. So it goes on the track. Have you seen that SNL sketch that they recently did where Matt Damon is playing the Weezer superfan, and they literally have the same exact discussion that you and I have about Weezer?
No, I did.
Oh my God, you have to watch this.
Was this recent?
Recent, yeah.
Holy shit!
Look on my Facebook page. Ryan Baker posted it on there, but it's like him and Leslie Jones having a full-out argument about whether or not Weezer is trash, and I won't spoil it for you.
Well, if this was recent, then they probably heard our podcast. And
of course.
Ripped it off.
It's literally straight up the conversation that we had last time. Just Weezer is trash after Matt Sharp left the band. Everything after Pinkerton is terrible.
Yeah.
But Matt Damon takes the exact opposite. Like he doesn't care about the old stuff. He's all about the new stuff. Have you heard the White Album? It's like, oh God, Matt Damon, you're a great actor.
I love the USA's. They're big mega hits.
It's just like that.
The characters are named Garret Schuelke and Tictor Ton.
Pretty much. It just made the white girl in me want to go, same. That's so me.
Dude, I got tickets to see them.
Are you seeing them with the Pixies?
Yep.
God, that's going to be a good show.
I know.
I'm jelly.
The one song I'm really hoping they do play, because it's one of those guilty pleasure songs, even though I know it's garbage. Can't Stop Partying.
Oh.
I love that song, actually.
Yeah. I mean, he can still put out hits. It's just not the same.
I mean, it's kind of what we were just talking about. We said sometimes you just gotta think of something catchy to sing,
something snappy,
and
you'll do that thing you do in Spanish.
I know, and that song is just filled with it. It's like, really, Rivers, are you really sitting there with your group? Follow the smoke. They're bringing bottles of the goose, and all the girls in the corner getting loose.
See, I want to hear the lovers lament stuff. I'm on the opposite side of that thing you do argument, where it's like, I want some emo. Give me that emotions. I want to hear your stories about half Japanese girls and the girl in Japan that sent you the letter on the stationery. Like, I recently watched another YouTube video where they went through like what Rivers was going through during that time, and like he had surgery on his leg and he wasn't able to walk very well, and like his life just like took a total shit. And once again, when your life takes a total shit, it's great for the music. And it's like the more you succeed and the easier your life is, that forms a different type of pressure that can be like smothering.
Then you get Ratitude.
Yeah, and then you get Ratitude, exactly. God. Matt Damon loves Ratitude, or his character in that sketch loved Ratitude.
Oh God, this actually brings up something I totally forgot to ask you about your opinion of in our last discussion on this. And I guess kind of with the controversy right now with the song Baby's Cold Outside, semi-relevant. Okay, Weezer, the last song on the album Butterfly. Do you think it's about sexual assault?
I don't know. That's one of the songs that I never really thought about the lyrics to as much.
Okay, a little bit of background why I'm asking that. The song I'm referring to is called Butterfly. It's actually, a lot of people consider it like, lyrically like Rivers' best song. Mm-hmm. It really is very deep, emotionally riveting, especially with just the acoustic guitar. And really, compared to like a lot of their lyrics, especially now, it actually has substance. The reason I'm asking that is because, basically when I lived in Kalamazoo, I was friends with a guy there who was also an indie rock guy. And he's basically and unfortunately it's kind of a personality quirk, but he becomes like really obsessed about things to the point that if you don't agree with him, he gets really angry.
Oh, will he like try to change your mind physically?
No, more like he'll then go around talking shit about you.
Oh, this dude doesn't understand the ramifications of Butterfly. He's a piece of shit.
Well, yeah, so basically actually that's kind of true, but basically, he like got in his head that Butterfly was about sexual assault, and he would not like drop it. And we actually had a guy who's if I had to compare him, I'm kind of gonna say he's kind of the Kalamazoo version of you.
Yeah, he's my Kalamazoo doppelganger.
Yeah, in a way, you guys look totally different. He's got like a beard and that, but you're both mega Weezer fans. You're both been bands, all that. And so we kind of went to him because he's kind of like the Weezer guru.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think, Weezer guy? Yeah, Weezer guy. I'm not going to say his name. And he gave this impassioned opinion of the song. Like, it's not about sexual assault. It's about loss of love and how you wrecked that love and how you wish you could have changed it. Go back to the indie guy. Well, the lyric, I did what my body told me to. That makes sexual assault.
And that's the tough part about lyrics is that really even the person that wrote it, it might have been a throwaway line, or it might have been something that rhymed, or it might have been something that they didn't even put any meaning into. And that's what leaves songs open to interpretation, and then it's what you take from it. So the song may not be written about that, but the way that you experience it, it might be relevant to you in the frame of sexual assault. So really, the music and art and culture can be fluid that way, and that we can take our own meaning from things that might be meaningless. Take memes themselves, like that's the perfect example. It's like a viral joke that just keeps getting copied, and by the end of it, it's like no one knows where it started. Like, why is Pikachu surprised? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, why did they use Magikarp? Like, he's literally got the face all the time.
And that's the meta meme of that meme, is that like,
yeah,
I'm surprised they didn't use me.
Yeah.
Poor Magikarp, no one likes you.
Yeah, but personally, regarding that song, even Baby It's Cold Outside, I don't believe they're about sexual assault. But I can see why people believe that. Baby,
It's Cold Outside. That's a rough one. Because,
that's a little bit more forceful. Like,
yeah,
I wouldn't say sexual assault, but that guy is a dick, and he must be really handsome and rich. Because, I don't see why any man, woman, or whoever he's with would basically want to stay with this guy who's basically grabbing at you, saying like, yeah, come on, it's cold outside, stay in. Here's a drink.
The funny thing is, we were at work the other day, they're playing Christmas music, and we're listening to that, but then Frosty the Snowman came on, and I'm like, this song is about cocaine, he's wearing a silk hat. Who wears a silk hat except for drug dealers and pimps? And he's the snowman, so he's dealing with snow, and there's all this magic happening. And
he has to wear his pimp hat in order to come to life.
Exactly. Like, I was starting to think, man, is this a song about coke dealers? Like, so Rudolph, you can overanalyze anything.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Why is his nose red?
Yeah, he's probably an alcoholic.
Or he's just snoring all those drugs, man. He's injecting marijuana directly into his nostrils.
Oh, it's gonna cause like so many cancers, so many. It's funny that,
or at least here in Michigan, so many car crashes.
So many car crashes.
I barely made it here in Alpena. There's so many car crashes.
Won't anyone think of the children? They're going to eat all those marijuana gummies, and they're going to go to the moon, and they're going to hallucinate like Santa Claus as Satan Claus, and it's just. And Jesus is going to be so sad. Damn it.
Oh God!
I think in the future I'm gonna run for city council because like the leadership we have in this town is
fuck the city council. Run for mayor.
One of those things. I just want to run on the Lemon Party ticket at one point. The Lemon Party is the best party.
Indeed, it is. Look up Lemon Party if you don't know the reference we're making, folks.
Don't look up Lemon Party.
No, I'm totally.
Don't look up Meat Spin. Don't look up any of those.
Oh, come on. Meat Spin is not that bad.
You spin me right around, baby.
Well, the thing with Lemon Party and Meat Spin is that, as far as I know, those are all consensual sexual acts.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a little consensual.
Yeah, so and the only
spinning.
reason it's shocking is because of people's straight hetero white males prejudices.
Yes, now we're getting into the meat of the issue. The meat.
Pun intended.
Of the issue.
It's not like I'm saying people go to BMI Pain Olympics. Which, no, seriously, do not go there. I don't go there because genital mutilation actually disturbs me, so I can't.
Yeah.
It actually legitimately makes me cringe.
Oh.
So I can't do it.
So are you sad that Tumblr got rid of porn?
I heard of that, but I have a friend who likes porn a lot and thus goes on Tumblr a lot. Apparently they haven't deleted it yet.
Really? It's still there?
Yeah.
Is it like unpublished or something, so you have to know how to get to it? You can't search for it?
I haven't heard that yet, so I don't know what's up, but...
All I know is I read, me reading my libertarian blogs, getting cucked by Ben Shapiro and all that stuff. But
The least libertarian guy I could think of, but they have him on.
you gotta have some sort of face on the other side. But the blogs I've been reading, some of the bad things that have happened on the internet lately because of SESTA and FOSTA. If you're trying to have a discussion on Facebook about sex in any meaningful way, you can get totally locked out of your own account because of SESTA and FOSTA, which are terrible bills.
These are
Facebook can't be seen to facilitating sex between consenting adults if money changes hands in any sort of way.
It's totally an attack on sex workers. And it's one of the things that shut down Backpage and Craigslist. The personals on Craigslist.
Yeah. And that's sad because it just puts those people in danger. Like that was one of the ways they had to screen clients and sex work is real work. They don't call it the oldest profession.
Yeah, and it also once again centralizes the power there with sex work. And instead of taking it out of the sex workers' hands, it'll go back to say pimps. Like I read a story like right after it passed where like a anonymous sex worker, I think it was like HuffPost, said like she immediately like started getting these texts by like 2 former pimps telling her like, hey, I'll take you back, if you want some work.
So I can abuse you and get you addicted to drugs and control your life.
Yeah, I'm cool with sex workers, fuck pimps, kill your pimp, pretty much. They take your money, they don't deserve it.
Yeah.
And they're not like Snoop Dogg, they're not cool or
it's not the cool like pimp couple pimps.
They're not like Dolomite. Who can like do sweet karate moves and turn to a literal tornado. They're actually very horrible people who should die.
I think what are the other internet outrages I've read about lately? YouTube is still terrible with content ID and copyright issues. I just read about a guy he's got a video with like 57 million views on it, and he wrote the entire thing, and he has all the rights to it, and then some rando just did a claim on it, and then YouTube was we don't know what to do, you'll have to figure it out yourself.
That's been going on for a long time, though. It's basically these, I guess say third-party companies that will just basically claim a copyright, even if it's not theirs to claim.
Well, now they're digital squatters, that they will find things, and they will just decide, I own this now, even though they have no claims to it whatsoever. And a lot of times it's such a chore to unravel that YouTube will just throw up their hands and say, it's what you did isn't yours anymore. We're going to give the money to this other person. And that it's like, sniping domain names and selling them back to people. It's a way to make money by, doing the least amount of work possible.
Oh yeah. And it also deals with fair use policy.
It makes me afraid because I really want to get back into YouTube because I haven't been on YouTube since like 2008 or 9. And I'm afraid that I'm going to write my own song and then somebody else is going to steal it by claiming that it sounds like the air in some wind chime video that they have. Because it's dumb stuff like that. You can get like the sound of rain. Somebody will copyright the sound of rain, and then all other rain sounds sound similar enough to where they can be like, flagged.
Shit. When I think this, I was thinking either like people such as myself who use songs in their podcasts, or people like use a little snippet. Kind of like Filthy Frank used that "Wake Me Up Inside" from Evanescence in the clip.
It's funny because I watch a lot of meme videos too, and I've been researching how people get around this, and the easiest way is to chop up the sound and distort it to the point where the content ID system can't identify it. So there's this one guy I watch, he makes videos about some video game, and then he'll make meme videos about him, but he uses so much Alex Jones in him, and it's hilarious. It's so funny, and it's like, how does he get around Alex Jones's copyright? And it's like, you can tell that he's either slowed down or sped up the voice a little bit, and there are tutorials on YouTube on how to do this, and people have actually then monetized and then demonetized those tutorials because they have snippets of songs within them, and it's just a giant fucking clusterfuck that if somebody doesn't figure it out soon...
That's very impressive.
It's how you have to live on the internet nowadays. You gotta watch your own back.
Yeah, when... Well, I remember they still do this. I haven't seen it as often, but then again, I haven't really searched anything out. They would put full episodes, especially like anime or something. They would, among other things, minimize it. It'll be within, which could be good and bad because if it's like the right size, it's okay. But if it's just so small, it's like, what is even going on here?
Well, YouTube actually has.
Or they'll like mirror it.
Yep, they'll flip it because that can confuse the visual scanner.
Yep.
But you can also slow it way down or speed it way up because YouTube built into their player has a speed function.
Yep.
So if you put it at half speed, you can have somebody else just put it to 2 times speed, and then it's perfect. I watch but there's ones that just slip through the cracks too.
That makes sense now because I have come across a few where it's like sped up, but
you're not sure why.
Yeah, I never thought to reduce her speed.
I didn't realize that either until I started reading about it.
That is clever.
Like one day I just went I was so mad because I'd read like the 8th story about somebody who actually created something and put their life's blood into it to then have it be stolen by some asshole. And it's like, all right, how do you get around this? And it's like, you speed up, slow down, crop, distort, do all sorts of weird stuff.
So basically, if you put your music on there, you should just go like a T-Pain Future route and just auto-tune the fuck out of your voice.
Well, what happens to people is that the original will go up, and you can claim that yourself because you made it. Someone else will then make a fair use remix of it, which is also legitimately up there. Then someone will claim part of that fair use remix as copyrighted material, which then boomerangs it back around to the original, so it looks like the original is fake, even though that's where the remix came from. And it's like, YouTube, fucking figure it out. It's 2019 almost, and you haven't figured out how to have someone have a legitimate claim on something that can't be stolen by a douchebag. Or even Sony was trying to put strikes on people for classical music. That shit was written in the 1500s, motherfucker. It's not copyrighted anymore.
Well, with that, you can't copyright the music. I know this mostly through folk music.
Mm-hmm.
You can't copyright the lyrics or the song, but you can copy that rendition of it.
The thing is, if 2 people play it the same way, the Content ID system just hears fucking violins. So it's like, you stole it.
Sense.
And it's like, it's not supposed to work that way, YouTube. But
isn't one of the main reasons because it's owned by Google?
A little bit.
Because basically, I'm sure if Google didn't buy up YouTube, it still would become a big soulless corporation. But it's owned by one of the most soulless, most evil corporations, Google. They're not going to give a shit.
Well, the funny thing is recently Google had a mini rebellion within the ranks because the people that were working on the censored search engine for China found out they were working on the censored search engine for China when they weren't supposed to, and they just said, fuck you, we're not doing this.
Oh, I heard about that.
So they had to fucking sort of hold off on the whole deal.
I thought you were going to talk about the thing where people, if they search idiot, Trump's picture comes up.
No, this is straight up they're building a search engine for the Chinese.
That's been
because
going on a long
they're
time,
they're getting their ass handed to them by Baidu and other companies, and it's like, well, why give up market share when we can do our own thing? The only thing is we have to play by the evil rules. I guess we like money.
Can't beat them, join them.
Yeah, exactly, and fuck, it sucks. But imagine you're a giant corporation, and do you just give up a whole chunk of money because you want to have morals?
Dude, I work for a giant corporation, so I'm a warehouse of the giant corporation. Totally not where you work, not at all.
Not at all?
Nope.
You work for Schmed Schmeier, and I work for Fred Fryer.
Yep, exactly.
Nice.
But they're not gonna give up shit. They're gonna find a way around it one way or another.
That's it. I'm going back to cassette tapes. Try to copyright my cassette tape, bitch.
Oh God.
Pry it from my cold dead hands.
Then you'll probably get a cop coming around, enforcing copyright laws.
I just remember back in the day as a kid putting tape over the little holes on the cassette so I could tape over stuff and make my own copies. So I had stuff taped off the radio or tapes taped off of other tapes.
No, my old stereo, which I still have and it still works because it's this big RCA monster pretty much. Basically, it's like, how you say they don't make it like they used to? Totally applies here because this thing's 20 years old, it still works perfully.
I love old technology because it works.
I know. I remember how I got really into basically ripping songs off CD onto the cassette there. 2 sides. Even though I like CDs more than I did cassettes, and it's actually really shitty. My mixes, it's all a bunch of classic rock stuff that I thought I liked. A lot of AC/DC, Alice Cooper. which, by the way, I spelled Cooper with a K.
Nice.
And I wrote it on there. Very nice.
Those were fun days because you could take a cassette that you bought at the store and like make copies for your friends, and it was relatively easy, and you could share music, and that's how I got into a lot of music, was by sharing it with my friends.
Yeah, I never got that far with cassettes. I like never made like a love mixtape to some girl I like or anything. No, it was more like just where it was cool on MTV. You know, oh hey, this Tony Hawk soundtrack is awesome. This Goldfinger song.
This Superman song is amazing.
Yeah.
I was at work the other day and that was playing somewhere. I'm like, whoa, where's my skateboard?
They're amazing soundtracks. They really are. That and
there was like Rage Against the Machine on it and shit too.
yeah, I'm sure Zach LaRoche really approved of that. Just
Goddamn capitalism.
Just as Jello by Afro approved the police truck being on there.
Jesus Christ.
Which actually is funny because the band members of Dead Kennedys proved that Jello did approve of that.
Really?
Yeah.
They must have saw the zeros at the end and said, all right, fuck it, I'm in.
But yeah, I do like Jello. I want to see him live. He performs in Chicago at least like twice a year. Like
really? By himself or?
No, he DJs. Like
really?
He hosts like punk rock parties and that.
Really?
I know, it's very interesting. And,
man, I want to do that.
Dude.
I just want to like play a bunch of old punk rock songs for people like while they're drinking. I'm fine with that.
Dude.
Somebody hire me if you're listening.
Merch table. But yeah, I like Jello by Afro, but that kind of soured me a little bit on him. I'm like, dude, come on. Why would you do that? It's kind of like when Henry Rollins, after Robin Williams committed suicide, wrote that column saying like, yeah, Robin Williams is nothing to me now. You know, if you kill yourself, you're nothing to me. Stop having shitty opinions.
Yeah, stop with your shitty opinions. I don't mind it when artists sell out to a certain extent, as long as I know that they're actually getting paid for it. It sucks when they sell out and then they end up in debt, because the way that music labels can structure things. All right, we'll give you this $300,000 advance, and then they take all the things that they had to do and they cut that off the bottom. So it's like, well, we never made any money, even though we sold 12 million copies of your record. It cost us this much to promote it and this much to have you go on tour, so no, you get no royalties, and that sucks.
I honestly don't give a shit about the whole notion of selling out, but that's because I'm a woke leftist socialist, and I realize we live in a capitalist hellhole society.
So get that money while you can.
I know, and be totally honest, yeah, I work a day job, but I write in podcasts. Seriously, if I could get like a big deal with like a big publisher, or get my podcast on some like network, like the Last Podcast Network or whatever. Hint, hint. No, totally. I would totally sign that contract. I would totally go into it. I mean, I would read it, all of that shit first. Though look it over, think about it. But yeah, it would make my life essentially easier. I'd get my shit out there to more audience, and I can actually focus on my work.
And that's what I like about having these songs on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 or whatever, is that game sold a lot of copies, so a lot of people were introduced to bands like Goldfinger and Rage Against the Machine when they maybe wouldn't have before.
Well, another thing I also think is the product itself. This is a skateboarding game, one of the greatest games of all time, actually. Think about how much joy it brought to people.
Yeah.
Like, it actually has a big, long-standing value, a legacy. It's not like, Tom Morello is singing like a jingle on a Burger King commercial.
Yeah.
Like that guy from Hootie and the Blowfish did.
Oh, yeah, technically. Although that I would totally watch a Burger King commercial written and directed by Tom Morello.
Oh, God.
Feed the homeless! And there's like shooting burgers out of like giant cannons into homeless encampments.
Have Zach on there. Pocket full of.
All right, marketers, if you're out there listening, don't do fucking any of this, because it's terrible. These are awful ideas.
I don't even think Tom or Zach would approve it, not because they want to sell out, but because how terrible they are.
Yeah, it's just terrible ideas. You created a monster.
Oh. Well, man, this is a Christmas episode, so let's talk about Christmas.
Oh, you mean Yule? It was stolen by the Christians? Fucking assholes?
Oh, here
Sorry.
we go.
Sorry, just get
No,
a
actually,
little
last weekend when I asked you, if you wanted to podcast again, and you gave me like pretty much your whole schedule.
Yeah, I'm working a lot around this.
Yeah, so like I'm reading it, I'm like, that time I work and that time. Then I noticed you said Tuesday and Wednesday I have off. I'm like, well, of course you have it off. It's Christmas. Why would you? Oh, okay.
There is, I think that's the only day of the year that they're technically closed. Because they were open all Thanksgiving, so. Yeah.
Well, actually, it wasn't that. I was thinking it was because you, sir, are of Jewish heritage.
Oh, yeah. The holidays are a mishmash of divorced, let's go to this Christmas, go to that Christmas type thing. I'm not a practicing Jew, so I don't do the whole Hanukkah thing. I just do commercialized Christmas like the rest of America for the most part.
Oh.
But as a kid, I had to sing a lot of Jesus songs because I was in choir. So I got my fair dose of Gloria, which has like 18 syllables if you ask the Catholics.
Dude. Oh, I know because this year is actually a lot better for me due to previous years, because for like the past 5 going on 6 years I've worked at my day job, every Christmas up until this year has been awful.
Really?
Mostly because of the workload.
Really?
Yeah, the workload this year was not even close like how it's been previous years. So it was actually a little bit better. And due to the decreased workload, I try to actually do a couple of Christmassy things, which I would then check in on Facebook, be like, attempting to have fun during the holidays, temp 3. The first one I did was, they actually have, at this famous Catholic church on the west side of Grand Rapids, Saint something Basilia. Actual name, I'm not having a brain fart right now if it's actual name, Saint something.
Saint Basilisk, you mean?
Yep, Saint Basilisk, there you go. I'm Catholic, I can't even pronounce these fucking names right. But yeah, I went there and I did this last year too because I actually did enjoy the choir and just the atmosphere of it all. Because this was actually a real classic old time church. It's not like this pop up shit that we have now. And they did indeed do Gloria, and the thing was, wait, you sang it. Is it all in Latin or?
In Excelsis Deo.
And there's no English version.
Nope.
God damn it. That's because it was so fucking boring because I didn't understand a thing that they were saying. Like, I can understand a few songs, but they were actually pretty short, so I'm like, okay, that's cool. Then they got into Gloria, I'm like, I couldn't keep up because it's like, okay, I don't know what they're saying. Are they on part 5 or part 4?
Which syllable of Gloria are we on right now? 17?
Yeah, exactly.
22?
Yeah, so...
I went to a church one time with a friend of mine, and I was having a hard time in my life at that time. I was like really super skinny and really stressed out.
Oh, wait. Well, you are skinny.
Oh, I was like 100 pounds. So like, I was missing like 20% of my body weight.
Okay, like this was like anorexic territory.
Yeah, I was slightly a little bit off my rocker because of how skinny I was and how much stress I was under. And so I thought it'd be a good idea to go to a midnight mass with one of my friends. And so I'm all dressed up nice and I'm chilling.
I'll tell you right now, bad idea.
Yeah,
I've been to midnight masses.
It was a bad idea. But not because of the religious aspect or anything. It just, I got really warm for some reason. I started to get really dizzy. I felt like there was no oxygen in the room. And so I left. I went outside, but I couldn't get into my friend's car. And I kind of did. I found an open door finally, and I was sitting in the back seat. I'm like, I look kind of like a weirdo just sitting in the back seat of this car. And
wait,
like,
this was a random car?
No, this was my friend. Like, I'd gone there in the car. I didn't drive there, though.
Okay.
So I ended up walking around at night, and I ended up at the gas station hanging out with my people. And by my people, I mean people that work service jobs on the holidays. And what are service people on the holidays doing? They're playing lotto tickets. Because everyone is coming in and buying lotto tickets.
Very godly.
And the funny thing is when you work a counter and you see people losing over and over and over and over and over again, you think that, hey, I can beat the system. And a lot of times, especially on the higher dollar ones, somebody loses on 6 $20 tickets in a row. There's a very good chance that next $20 ticket's going to be a winner and a significant winner.
Is that like actual logic there?
It is actual working logic. And this is something that people that work counters and deal with lottery, they will do. And it's kind of like sniping. You're just waiting for someone to get so fed up with losing that they walk away, and you're not supposed to do it, but it's just a thing that cashiers do. And so I ended up at the local gas station hanging out with all the service workers, because like a couple of them were like on break from their other job, so it was like a bunch of cashiers that had to work that night, all hanging out, all talking about the lottery, all playing lottery tickets. And it was like, here, my people. And then I got a phone call, and they were all mad at me because I had left the church, and it caused a lot of drama. And I got it, but it was like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I'm gonna like literally pass out sitting in this church pew.
Yeah, the power of Jesus is just too much for me.
And that's how I played it off. I'm like, I just felt the Holy Spirit too much, and I had to get out of there. And like, they were, I think, really pissed off at me for that. And I get it, because they were worried because I just disappeared. But I told them, hey, I gotta go.
Wait, what church was this? You remember?
No, it was some Catholic church in Tawas.
Oh, Tawas. I was about to say, if it was here, if it was St. John's Catholic Church, that's one I had to go to.
Well, the thing was, I had never been to this church before, and I wasn't familiar with that part of Tawas. I'm not really all that familiar with the back streets of Tawas. Alpena,
the dangerous back streets of Tawas.
Well, the funny thing is, you can blindfold me, drop me off at any street in Alpena, and I can definitely find my way back to civilization. So I walk out of this place. I don't even think I had a coat, but it wasn't super cold. So I had to find the lake. And to find the lake, I just walked into the direction of the wind, because there's a 90% chance at that time of night that the wind would be coming off the lake. So I walked into the wind, and then found the lake, and found the Walmart, and found the gas station.
Yeah, and we also have to acknowledge that depending on what side of town, that wind's probably going to smell.
Yeah, in Alpena at least.
Shout out to Abitibi or Decorative Panels, where are you fucking calling yourselves now?
I want to make t-shirts that say, make Alpena smell great again. And just to have some
it's always smelling great.
I just want to have like smokestacks and then like the cross out symbol on them. Like, make Alpena smell great again. I feel like I could do a brisk business in those.
Alright, so at the gas station, you're waiting there. And did you win anything?
I didn't play any, I didn't have any money. So
oh, you did?
Okay. I think I bought a coffee or something, and like probably smoked some cigarettes with the local cashier people. And then got an angry phone call and text, message of, where the fuck are you? That's so disrespectful, blah, blah, blah. Jesus is mad. Sorry, Jesus, I got too warm.
I'm about to say, okay, I don't know if that's exactly what it's called, but isn't there like a synagogue here in town?
It used to be by the old junior high.
Yeah, that's the one I'm referring to.
I've been to that one once. It was kind of fun. You go in, you take a yarmulke out of a box by the door, and you put it on your head.
Oh, actually, please tell me about this, because I've always seen it all my life, but I've never seen it open, never seen it active.
I don't know if it's still open and active. I don't know how large the Jewish population of Alpena is.
I know it's considered a historical marker.
Yeah, it's definitely an old building, and it was a beautiful service. It was different from your normal, Judeo-Christian service. There was a lot of the Jews do a lot of singing and stuff, but not like our style singing. It's not like they lead a choir. It's like the rabbis. I'm butchering it, but like they're giving sort of a talk.
They'll be very mad with you.
But they're
all the Jewish listeners I have on this podcast.
I'm sorry, Jewish Jesus. I don't mean to offend, but there's kind of like sing talking, I guess would be like the
fun fact.
Mumble rapping.
Yeah, mumble rapping.
All rabbis are mumble rappers.
They're all a little beat, pretty much. No, fun fact. You know where most of my listeners are?
Grand Rapids?
No.
Alpena?
Nope.
Chicago?
Nope.
All right, you got me.
Israel.
Really? Oh,
yes.
man.
That's why I can't offend them.
Yahweh's coming to get me.
I'm kidding. I don't have a majority of listeners. Barely anyone listens to this shit. Why am I doing this? Why are we here?
Because it's fun. And it's fun to create things and have good conversations.
Shit, if you say so, Victor Kahn.
I try.
All right. So, last podcast near the end, you actually suggested that you wanted to bring your guitar in and perform some songs, which you have indeed brought your guitar in.
I tried to choose after listening to you and Andy Argo talk politics, which, shout out. I would like to meet you someday, Mr. Argo. You seem like a cool dude.
Dude, we could arrange this somehow.
Hey.
Very quickly before you perform, though, how would you describe your current songwriting style?
Well, up until about a week ago, it was non-existent. because I hadn't really written any songs.
Very good.
But the other day, I wrote 3 songs. I caught the bug, and I had to write some songs.
All right, because I have listened to your SoundCloud, a lot of experimental stuff.
And
you were once in Mason Proper,
Yep.
indie rock band.
Lately, like I was listening to, God, what is the name of the band? I think they're called Boy Genius, and it's Julian Baker and
I've heard
Phoebe
of them.
Bridgers and some other lady, and they were singing a song, and it just got stuck in my head like an earworm. So I sort of wrote like a thing that sounded kind of like it, but my version ends up sounding a bit more like Sheryl Crow, which I'm slightly embarrassed to say. It's just the rhythm of the guitar sounds very Sheryl Crow-ish.
So kind of like, is it like really deeply country Sheryl Crow or like soaking up the sun Sheryl
It's
Crow?
more like soaking up the sun, sadly to
God.
say. And it's funny because Boy Genius is not like that at all. So I took something beautiful and perverted it into something terrible. But that's just what happens in my brain a lot.
Well, that's how I consider half of my work until I like actually get some confidence in it. So you're not alone there.
And it was like the first, I don't think I've written anything since like 2006. So it's been a minute.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, 12 years.
Yeah, it had been a minute, so 3 I think was good for, and so I'm trying to think of the other 2 that I wrote. One was very mild 7 sounding, so like progressive rock.
Oh.
And then another, these aren't those though, the things I have.
Go, because,
These are just lyrics.
Oh, well, I am looking at the lyric sheet, and, yeah, okay, you got the lyrics on here, and I'm guessing these are guitar tabs?
It's just like chords, and it was mainly, I don't play this enough, so like I just needed to like know what the progression was.
You see, that's how much of a musician I am. I just used the wrong terminology to describe it.
I don't read tab very well. I did in the past when I was in high school.
Alright, so you just want to get on to the first song here?
Well, this is something right up you and Mr. Argo's alley. This is a NoFX song called "Murder the Government."
Oh, I do know this song. Very classic.
I just gotta.
Victor Khan, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. I wanna see the Constitution burn. I wanna watch the White House overturn. I wanna witness some blue blood bleed red. I wanna tar and lynch the KKK. I wanna pull and shoot the NRA. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Murder the government. Murder the government. Murder the government. And then do it again, yeah. Murder the government. Murder the government. Murder the government. And then murder the government.
Fuck yeah.
I wanted to do that in like a public building in Alpena. Like,
Dude,
what you doing today? Oh, I'm just gonna go play Murder the Government at the library.
Dude, I actually had to stop myself from singing the na 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 murder the government because oh god, I do love that song by NoFX. Like this was one of their songs like totally before Punk Voter and support John Kerry.
That's like an old NoFX song.
I think I have that album in my car actually.
And I think the reason I learned that was because I was out one day at the Black Sheep in town playing an open mic, and it was like they were doing something out at the air base, so there were a ton of military dudes around. I'm just like, what would happen if I went up and played Murder the Government right now?
Great.
And my friend that I was with was just like, don't fucking do it. And I'm like, well, if you tell me no, I'm definitely going to fucking do it. So I went home and learned
you
it.
see, Victor, it should be totally fine because they're not fighting for the government, they're fighting for the country. So they should have no problem with you talk about murder.
You mean the corporations?
Anti-war rhetoric.
Goddamn leftists. Get cucked, liberals!
Okay, chill out, Ben Shapiro.
That's another thing I would love to shout in a public library is get cucked, liberals.
Well, here's your chance. If you don't know, folks, we're at the Alpena Public Library, same place as last time. Same nice little meeting room, which Turns out actually pretty well. I thought the echo would fuck it up at first.
No, it's got a decent reverb to it.
Yeah, and
Give it
there's
the old clap test. Oh yeah.
Yep, there's no one out here, so you can literally sing about anything.
Well, yeah. Last time they were watching Good Morning Vietnam.
Yep, you can sing about murdering the government. You can talk about babies being cold outside. Anything.
Dear God, no. That song is so wrong.
And I kind of like Butterfly. It's totally something of its time. No, this was back in time where like classic movies that if a woman particularly was freaking out, the main male lead would just smack her.
Yeah, just slap her.
Calm
back
down.
in the sense. Because that's a valid way of solving conflict.
There's actually Ronald Reagan, when he used to be an actor, there is a famous scene where he does indeed do that.
Yeah, I've seen that. There's like a gif of that.
Yeah, I think Michael Moore used it in one of his documentaries. Air quotes. Alright, so...
I know more like political NoFX stuff, but I probably don't have the lyrics on me.
Alright, so...
So this one, this is by Adam Beck, who I was in a band with. It's called To the Academy, and it's got sort of an anti-government thing going on. Okay.
I wrote a check today, sent it to the academy. I'll tell you what they learned from it. Fucking nothing I need to know. I learned from TV shows. Back home, I need to know where the sunset goes. When it rolls off the edge of the world into infinity, I wrote a check today, sent it off to the Capitol. I'll tell you what they bought with it. Drugs and women, all I need to know. Learn from TV shows. And my friends back home, I need to know where the sunset goes. When it rolls off the edge of the world into infinity, we are a rocket ship blasting into the atmosphere. I said you should come with, climb aboard, sail into the galaxy. We're on a rocket ship, blast into the atmosphere. I said you should come with, climb aboard, sail into the galaxy with me.
Nice.
Thought you'd like I wrote a check today, sent it to the Capitol about drugs and women.
No, dude, that was great. That is some pure acoustic indie goodness.
That was it was written by Adam Beck, who used to be in Milquetoast with myself and Adam Newman.
Yeah, when was the song written? Any idea?
Trying to think. Probably 2009, 10, or 11. I would
Oh,
imagine.
okay,
It was
good.
like right before we stopped playing together.
Okay, I was gonna guess 2000s because when I think of, I still listen to emo a lot, or what they consider emo. It's a very controversial thing, but immediately I always think of something like that from 2000s, some Dashboard Confessional like.
It's funny because recently I did learn a Dashboard Confessional song.
Oh God, help you.
Yeah, God help me. And I think I'm going to play it at the show on the 12th. I think I'm also going to play Katy Perry's Dark Horse, too. So,
That's legit.
So that just
no
shows
going back.
where I'm coming from as a weirdo.
Well, if you want to be easier on yourself acoustically, you could always do the one that got away.
That is one of my favorite songs, truthfully. And I know that one, but that one brutalizes my voice just because I want to sing it in her range, just because like I'm barely, like I can barely touch the top of her range just a little bit, and so I immediately overdo it and blow out my voice every time I do that
If
song.
you do Dark Horse, though, are you gonna do like Juicy J's part?
No, because I'm not a
God.
rapper. And
Come on.
I need to find somebody, like the thing is I really need to find somebody who can do that part.
You could though.
Just
I
like-
mean, back to the song "Can't Stop Partying" by Weezer. There's the Lil Wayne section.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen video of one of different rappers being on. I don't know how Rivers convinced these guys to be on there, but whatever.
Probably money.
Yeah, but yeah, I have seen at least one video of Rivers doing Lil Wayne's part. He just kind of like lowers his voice a little bit, tries to act more serious.
Serious Rivers.
Party every day like it's my funeral.
See,
Gotta stop mixing alcohol and pharmaceuticals.
Like, I feel like I would hear myself, like I'd hear a tape of it and then like just take away my guitar because I'm white and I really shouldn't be rapping.
Oh, come on. Come on. That's
It's not that white people can't rap, it's that this white person sitting right here by the name of Victor Collins shouldn't rap.
Come on, dude. I can rap. If I can rap, you can rap.
No, my job is to sing like a lady, so I can do that, but to add rap on top of that is just no good.
Dude looks like a lady.
Wow! Yeah. So last time on the last podcast, I think I had you play "Lights Off" by Mason Proper.
Yeah, and and you see, folks, if you read the descriptions, I always put, all songs used with permission. So far, this is the only one where like I purely didn't get the permission for it, but since you were in Mason Proper and you were on that song, I still kind of like considered it, and I put on there like, please don't sue me, other members of Mason Proper.
Which I don't think you'll have a problem with. So
Yeah.
here's my acoustic version of that song, I feel like, to come full circle to that song.
All right, lights out.
So this is Lights Off.
What-
It's written by John Visger, an Alpena resident, lead singer of Mason Proper, who
All right.
I used to be the drummer for. My version's a little bit different.
Oh, do tell.
Light rays never stop spending their days bouncing off her in the right ways. They hit my eyes and the world goes hazy. Brian says, listen up, we gotta move, body navigate the whole room. We're trading smiles and the words are forming for men. How much of you disappears when I turn the lights on? How much of you disappears when I turn the lights on? Not exactly what I meant to say, but it'll do. It's a valid question for you. If I strip away the fashion, what do we get? Well, eyes closed, how about we have a day style and the hair and the makeup. How much disappears? How much disappears? How much disappears? How much disappears? When I turn the lights off, 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 when I turn the lights off. A little bit different from a punk song with like synthesizer and reverse tape loops to something that sounds more like Coldplay.
Yeah, that was great, and I really wish there was more people here to appreciate it than myself. You know, fat Polish guy sounds like he has Down syndrome.
You don't sound like you have Down syndrome.
Hey man, I sound like I have Down syndrome. You apparently think you look like you have.
So, in the dawn of the internet, when YouTube first existed, I found this video, and it was two girls.
One cup?
No, it was two girls, 4 cups.
Oh, whoa.
So this was the dawn
damn.
of the song called Cups, which then got taken and put into like one of the Pitch Perfect movies and turned into something.
Wait. I thought they based that on that old Carter family song, When I'm Gone.
That's probably true, but the first one that I saw, it was just these two girls with the routine with the cups. And this was before it ever became famous. This was like before YouTube, I think, had even been sold to Google. And I loved it the first time I saw it. I could never get that cup routine down, but I wanted to learn the song. So I learned it and turned it into sort of like a country song.
Oh, nice.
As I do. Because I don't really have much in the way of country songs.
Nice. I do remember when that was like real hot at the time, the Bay would not stop playing it. And even to the point, my mom loves the Bay. Can't understand why. You know, I guess she likes hearing Hey Baby again for the 10,000th time.
5 bazillionth time.
I like No Doubt, but God, fuck that song.
Actually, I learned a No Doubt song over the summer, Sunday morning. One day I heard Sunday morning somewhere, and I'm like, I love that song. That song is a banger. I gotta learn that.
Yeah. But anyway, Cuffs played it again when we were like come back from a trip to Rogers City. She's like, I'm so sick of this song.
And that's why when I play the song, I almost always do it last, just because You're Gonna Miss Me When I'm Gone is kind of a funny thing to play last. But at the same time, most people hate this song now because it's been like just killed.
I know.
It's been done to fucking death.
It is a shame though, like I said, because I learned that it's originally was a Carter family song called When I'm Gone.
See, I never knew the history of that song.
Yeah.
So I always just thought that these two girls like wrote the song and came up with a cup routine to it, and it was amazing. And they ended up starting a band that sounds completely different from most other bands, and it's escaping me now.
God, do they get requests to play that song? They just get angry about it?
I would imagine that they might have trouble doing it now because it's been taken from them and done
What's her
to
name?
death.
Anna Kendrick? Or
Yeah,
something?
by Anna Kendrick. And yeah, the Anna Kendrick version is just, it's brutal to me.
All right.
So here's the country-ish version of it.
I bought a ticket for the long way round, 2 bottles whiskey for the way, and I sure could use some sweet company, 'cause I'm leaving tomorrow, what you see? When I'm gone, when I'm gone, when I'm gone, when I'm gone,
just realized something like halfway through that. Now I'm also gonna post this up on YouTube. Then I remembered the algorithm bots that we were talking about.
The thing is, the algorithm bots shouldn't be able to fuck with any of this because it's live performances. So.
I'm really hoping so, but then I thought like, oh shit, it might get taken off. That actually might give me some more viewers then, because I'm bitching about it.
Well, that's one of the great things is that the algorithm has a hard time with live performances, and that is amazing because that allows me to learn songs because tons of people post their covers of songs up on YouTube and they don't get taken down. There's just tons of them up there, so I'm actually able to learn songs by the Front Bottoms and by Katy Perry and by other bands that are more popular. And I can still listen to it and see what their version is, because it's one thing to look at a chord chart or a tab on the internet, it's another thing to see someone else's interpretation of it, and then I take their interpretation and bastardize it and come up with my own interpretation. That's pretty much my songwriting, is like, alright, what's the easiest way to play this? Start from there, and then you can jazz it up a little. Because I'm limited, I mainly just play chords. And
the greatest singer-songwriter of our generation.
What's the easy way to do it? Alright, do it that way.
Just as Bob Dylan would do it.
And because he was always, much more lyrically inclined, and that's one thing that I just have never been able to do. I can write an essay, but I cannot write song lyrics to save my life.
Really?
There's just not enough words. Like, I can't say something in 4 words beautifully. I need like 52 and 4 references and 3 footnotes. Just for some reason, it's just never been one of my skills. I gotta work on it. That's the thing. You can get good at just about anything if you work on it.
Oh yeah, actually, I have written songs in the past. Mostly, I was thinking in a way that Tin Pan Alley singers would do. Where it's basically like they write the song, but then they send it off to someone, they turn it into a song. I kind of thought in that way, or Carl Sandburg, one of my all-time favorite poets, he would also write lyrics. The difference is that he actually was a musician. There are recordings of him. And I actually went to his museum/childhood home. And yeah, they have his guitar on display there.
Really?
Yeah, so there are a few songs out there. They're mainly in advertisement time.
Yeah.
They're mainly in my third poetry ebook, the Bakun Incorporated Reader. And I have a few Cold Crow Blues and Bed on the Couch in Wotan. But again, a lot of those are based a lot on blues standards and folk songs. Because I was particularly inspired by Bob Dylan and Woody Guthrie. Mm-hmm. Woody Guthrie is especially known because he was probably the most famous folk singer of all time. He would base a lot of his songs on the structures of other previous songs. Mm-hmm. The only difference was that I actually attributed this song is based on the tune of this song.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where I'll start from sometimes when I'm writing songs. I'm better at adapting other people's songs. So when I was in a band with the 2 Adams, Adam would have a song and he'd play it and be like, alright, now let's move it here, let's change this about it, and bam, it's still the same song, but it's got a slight twist on it. Yep. And there were times where I would take 2 of his songs and sort of weld them together in the middle, even if they didn't have the same key or the same structure. Alright, let's just slap these 2 songs together and see what happens. And sometimes there'd be 3-4 versions of a song before we came upon one that we liked, or mainly me, because I'm the one with the biggest amount of weird song OCD, to where I'm that's not right yet. Let's try something different.
Yeah, I remember one song I wrote. I think it's called "The Rambling Wobbly," and I based on 2 versions of a same song called "Roving Gambler." Famous folk song, and there's 2 different versions, one from Woody Guthrie and then one from this group that's now disbanded but I really love called the Floorbirds.
Floorbirds, I didn't hear that.
Dude, I should link you a lot of shit.
Yeah, definitely link me a lot of shit.
I will link you a lot of shit, how about that?
I want to I've seen those stickers "This machine kills fascists."
That's classic Woody Guthrie.
Their guitars. I want one that says "This machine generates copyright strikes."
Dude, you could do it. I mean,
I feel like that and the make Alpena smell great again t-shirt would be good
Yeah.
ideas. So no one steal those, god damn it.
well,
You're
fun
listening.
fact, Pete Seeger, you ever heard of him? He was a folk singer. Yeah, on his banjo, he had like, I guess, no, I would call it parody because he actually meant it. Just as how Woody Guthrie was way more militant compared to Pete Seeger, who was more pacifist. So Woody Guthrie was like, yeah, this machine kills fascists because I actually want to kill fascists.
With this guitar.
I fucking hate fascists. And Pete Seeger had on his banjo, it like surrounded the whole thing. It was like, this machine surrounds fascists and convinces them that they're wrong or something.
Good fucking luck nowadays.
Yeah.
We're all getting cucked by Ben Shapiro, god damn it. Well, I can play an original song since I've been playing all these covers. I probably wrote in like the mid 90s for my high school band from Munda. It's called the Stalker Song, and this is Victor and Rivers Cuomo's like bad lyrics generator.
Well, very quickly, what was this band called?
Fermunda.
Fermunda?
Like as in like Fermunda ya balls. Like I was in a lot of poorly named bands in high school, especially.
What was this band like?
Kind of like if like 311 and I don't know. We were.
Oh God, really?
We started off as like a punk band, and then we had like metal influences. It was like during the time of like new metal and punk. And,
okay.
But we were more like progressive rock ish.
Oh.
So, but this song really didn't fit into that sort of thing.
Folks, you couldn't see that obviously, but I was taking a sip of water.
He was dying.
When you said 311, I kind of.
Well, for me, I was never into like the 311 reggae type stuff. Like, you know, Amber is the color of our energy. That's nice, but they had some really good rock and metal riffs that I just dug as a kid.
I suppose so. I
And
never got
it was
into
bordering on the new metal, but you know, what everybody was listening to was like Korn and Bush and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mostly knew them 311 from being one of the bands that bros now really like. And I guess the rumor that 311 is actually
KKK,
yeah, that or like some street gang or some shit.
No, they're just a bunch of dudes that like to smoke weed and write.
I know.
Metal.
I probably would have totally spit up that water if you would have said like Sublime or something.
It's funny because one of our singers, he could play Sublime and he could.
No,
do it
I like Sublime too. I really do, but I realize the humor that comes with liking them.
I don't know. They were a classic '90s band. I think there's probably a couple songs by them I would want to learn, especially.
Not Santeria, please.
I already knew Santeria in high school, but one of the ones I like is the God. And tomorrow she'll be a whore. The Wrong Way.
Oh, Wrong Way.
That is a terrible. Like the lyrics to that song are terrible. But
Well, yeah,
I don't
it's
know,
about
such a catchy song.
Yeah, it's about a guy who's lusting after like a 12-year-old prostitute or something.
Yeah, pretty terrible. But they could write a catchy song.
Oh yeah.
All right, so this is called the Stalker Song. Here's an example of how terrible I am as a lyricist. Well, I found a way to please you. I found a way to tease you. I found a way back in your life. I found a way back in your summer. Yeah, I ran and hid away. Summer. Well, I never felt like this before. Well, you're not as cute as before. I've never knocked on your door. I never felt like this before. I never felt like this before. Summer, yeah, I ran and hid away. Summer, I never felt like this before. You summer, yeah, I ran and hid away. Summer, well, I never felt like this before. This is where the guitar solo would go.
Oh yeah.
If I could guitar solo.
Believe in yourself. You can do it. Yeah.
Somewhere, yeah, Ireland, little white somewhere. Well, I'll never feel like this before you. Somewhere, yeah, Ireland, little white somewhere. Well, I'll never feel like this before. 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 So yeah.
Should I be clapping this?
So during that time, I think I also wrote a song called "No Green Card, No Hamburger," because like there was a bunch of immigration stuff in the news. It was probably mid to late '90s.
I was about to say it's pretty relevant now.
And my friend who had been in like Guyana, like doing mission work and stuff, came home. I'm like, I'm so proud of myself. I just wrote this song called "No Green Card, No Hamburger," and she's like, no.
You're a dick.
You're a dick, essentially. And like for me, I was listening to a lot of like Adam Sandler comedy albums, so
that explains it.
So like Piece of Shit Car was high on my list of songs that I thought were hilarious. You know, you're a teenager,
Actually,
you have bad ideas.
Actually, I think his latest special, where it's like him singing and doing stand up, telling stories.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's actually been getting critical acclaim.
Yeah, I did read that. He did like a tribute to Chris Farley, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that. Which is really surprising considering his output these past couple of years.
I don't know. There'll always be a soft spot in my heart for like Billy Madison and all those movies from back in the day. Once you get to like You Don't Mess with the Zohan, then it's all downhill.
It's I've kind of soured on him, and it's kind of like infected my like of these previous films. Even when I was a kid, I liked them, but I wasn't like gaga over them.
Mm-hmm. He did some alright romantic comedies, like 50 First Dates, like him and Drew Barrymore sort of had a thing going for a while where they're making...
How about Jack and Jill? You like that?
We're not talking about Jack and Jill.
God, I have a coworker, one of my good friends, Jordan. He said that it was the only film that he's actually walked out on.
Really?
He demanded a refund.
I can imagine that film looked terrible.
It is terrible.
Like the pitch meeting. Yeah, I'm gonna play myself and a female version of myself. No, get the fuck out, Adam Sandler. What kind of crack are you smoking?
Yeah, but it has come up with the meme of Adam Sandler being the greatest nihilist that has ever lived.
It's very possible after making that type of bullshit.
Fuck Nietzsche. Adam Sandler is where it's at with nihilism.
We believe in nothing. Well, should I play one more and then call it a day?
Yeah, sure.
Go to my day job.
Yeah. What time you gotta go to work?
I gotta go to work at 5, but I gotta change my clothes and eat some foods.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea what time it is right now.
Well, at least I don't have to rush you over there like I did with our dear friend Andy Argo.
Really? Was he like? I didn't get to that part of the podcast yet. Was he like on the way to work, kind of?
Yeah, I think we had like a half hour before like he had to go to work. I'm like, oh, I'll give you a ride, and he works in the care home industry, and he's back working in it, and the place he works at, I'm not gonna give the exact address. I don't think they would appreciate it, but it's in the part of town where like the frats and that are.
Oh fuck!
So
yeah,
I'm like, wait, are you working at like a frat care home? Like, what's going on? It's like, oh no, it's just there.
Yes, we take old dude bros and chads and like give them their Bud Light.
Yeah, exactly.
And their roofies, and then they roofie each other into old age.
Yeah, Bud Light Lime is just too much. We gotta keep that away from them.
They might go crazy.
Okay.
Don't let them watch football. Start saying they can throw a football over those mountains.
No, Mr. Johnson. No more Bronco games for you.
Should I go out on a silly note?
Sure. This song?
Yeah, I think this is some Britney Spears. We're gonna go with that.
Hell yeah.
Oh baby, how was I supposed to know something wasn't right here? Oh pretty baby, I shouldn't have let you go. Now you're out of sight, got me blinded. Oh, pretty baby, there's nothing that I wouldn't do. It's not the way I planned it. Show me how you want it to be. Tell me, baby, 'cause I need to know now. Just because my loneliness is killing me, and I must confess, I still believe when I'm not with you, I lose my mind. Give me a sign, hit me, baby, one more time. Oh, baby, how was I supposed to know? Oh, pretty baby, I shouldn't let you go. Well, I must confess that my loneliness is killing me now. Don't you know I still believe that you would be here and give me a sign. Hit me, baby, one more time. My loneliness is killing me, and I must confess, I still believe. When I'm not with you, I lose my mind. Give me a sign. Oh, hit me, baby, one more time.
Victor Kahn, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary people.
All intersex, interspecies, erotica aficionados out there.
Man, boy, that was great rendition. I could feel the copyright strike already looming above me.
The funny thing is,
Van Hammer.
one of the bands that I like and have found recently, that Sloth Rust band, they do a cover of it, and I'm just like, God damn, they do it so much better than I do. I'm like, you fuckers, ruining this for me. I thought this was my cover, because I've been doing this cover since like the early 2000s. Like Travis, the singer Travis, did a cover of this. He was like the first guy to like really to butcher this song into like its current form of coverage, and so like that stood for the longest time. I was like, all right, Travis did it. And so then I pretty much stole his style, so that we're good. And then
Nice.
now other people are doing it too. It's like, no, this is my jam.
No,
Like I went to an open mic somewhere, and it's just one of the the arrows in my quiver. And some guy did it first, and I'm just like,
God
you
damn it.
motherfucker. I think I was in Grand Rapids with Adam at like an open mic somewhere on the west side, and I was like,
Fuck.
that motherfucker stole my jam.
Well, it's time
It's
for you.
everyone's jam now.
Well, take it back by playing it again. But yeah, I do remember when Britney Spears became big. I was old enough to remember that, and I wouldn't call it my sexual awakening, but
I think it was a lot of people's sexual awakening.
well, it wasn't mine, but I do remember particularly feeling some intense feelings with that. Not that song, but the song where she's dressed up as a schoolgirl. No, I'm not that innocent.
Oh yeah.
Like it's like, okay, I don't know the context or the references, Catholic schoolgirl, anime schoolgirl kind of thing. I don't recognize those references yet because I'm not old enough, but something's going on here.
Something's going on downstairs.
Well, not really there, but just something here in my heart was going on.
My heart of hearts. I knew there was something I like about that.
So, to quote Bob Dylan, something's going on here, but you don't know what it is. Do you, Mr. Jones? Or Mr. Schuelke?
Sadly, that's not the only Britney Spears song I know. I also know Toxic.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's a good banger, too. And
No, it's a really good song? Scream and Shout with Will I Am.
my dad is actually a fan of the Black Eyed Peas.
Oh, God. Well, the Black Eyed Peas are all right. It's Will I Am, who's a terrible rapper.
There's some song that's Will.i.am and J-Lo, and it's called The Hardest Ever. And I think he like rhymes something with boner. Like, I go hard like a motherfucking boner.
Nice.
It's like the worst rap ever, but I love that song. It was just funny.
There's a song Will.i.am did with Justin Bieber called #Power.
Your song title has a hashtag in it.
Yeah, it has #Power, so I think that's how you pronounce it.
That's a pattern.
And has such great lyrics such as, used to have a piggy bank, but now I got a bigger bank.
Thank you, Will.i.am. That's just genius. Although, who am I to talk? I'm the dude that writes the songs called The Stalker Song. And No Green Card, No Hamburger.
Which are lyrically more poetic than, used to have a piggy bank, now I got a bigger bank. Well, ever. Well,
Poor Will.i.am.
You want to end this, you want to put this podcast out of its misery?
Yeah, let's bury it in a shallow grave.
Yep. All right, folks, this has been the second part of the Christmas special of the Garret Schuelke podcast. Thank you again, Victor Kahn, for being on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for performing. This was very nice.
It was a lot of fun. I hope to do it again sometime in the not too distant future.
Well, in fact, you are going to do it again at the merch table here in Alpena.
Yes, on the 12th of January. You should definitely go to that. I think it will probably start sometime around 6 in the p.m. So the merch table is located by the old Dunkin' Donuts on the south side of town, across from the Admiral Station abouts.
Yep.
It's
on Facebook.
And if you want to see some punk rock, Rob Bruce's band 78 Revolutions Per Minute will be playing, along with probably some other Grand Rapids punk bands and maybe some local bands too. So you should definitely get out of your basement and go to a show and have a lot of fun.
More specifically, come to Alpena.
Yeah, come to Alpena if you're not in Alpena, but if you're in Alpena and you're in a basement of Alpena, get out of that basement and get to the show, goddammit.
Yep. If you are in Grand Rapids, if you're in Chicago, if you're in Canada, if you're in Israel, come to Alpena. If you are, come to Alpena, see the show.
And if you're Ben Shapiro, get cucked, motherfucker.
Oh, God. Very quickly, I remember back when he was first started off as a columnist, he was basically an Ann Coulter ripoff.
Yeah.
Pretty much that. So it's very entertaining to see him now be all alt-right, #destroyed.
Yeah.
Dude, you were never that cool, okay?
Nope, sadly no.
Yeah. So, okay, besides that, anything else you want to plug of yours?
No, if you come to Meyer and you see me working the register, say hi.
Yeah, demand to know where the Super Nintendo classics are.
And then throw a fit and lay on the floor and kick your legs a lot.
Get very angry when you try to deflect it by saying, but we have these PlayStation classics.
Ain't nobody want no fucking part of no PlayStation classic.
Well, personally I would, but I heard they've got terrible slowdown on these games.
They're on the PAL versions, they're on a worse emulator, and in fact you can hack a Super Nintendo Classic to play PlayStation games faster than the PlayStation Classic will
you
play.
can hack anything to play anything. So
that's why I play all my Nintendo games on my toaster.
There we go. That is the meaning of life.
Yes. Playing video games on any system possible.
All right, folks, that's the show. You can find, if you've downloaded this off the Internet Archive, you can stream it on YouTube. If you stream it on YouTube, you can download this podcast on the Internet Archive. You can find all info from past shows and my other work and all that other shit at GarretSchuelke.tumblr.com. You can like the official Garret Schuelke podcast Facebook page on Bookface. It's got 75 likes.
Come on. Smash that subscribe button, people.
Yes.
You gotta
smash that subscribe button or I will smash your mom. That's not a joke either. I will actually.
I would literally find your mom and seduce her.
Exactly. But I will actually be a gentleman about it. Not baby it's cold outside guy.
Okay. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yep.
Happy New Year.
Yep. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa.
Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa.
Yeah, whatever shit you're celebrating.
And mainly Happy Yule, because that's where it all came from. So sacrifice a goat, do the whole solstice thing.
Yeah. Hail Satan!
Hail Satan, for sure. It's a woodland critter Christmas, if you're into that sort of thing. Blood sacrifice.
Blood orgy.
Blood orgies. Yeah. Awesome.
All right.
I think we covered all the bases.
Yeah, I think we did. All right, folks. have a good day. I'll probably be back with the new year for season 2 of the Garret Schuelke podcast. Most likely with the ever-loving Zach Elmblad. All right, folks, have a good day. Here's the outro song.
1, 2, 3, 4. Songs, they're all awesome, but that doesn't matter. I ate some good food, I drank lots of beer. Sometimes I felt bad and I cried a few tears. I went to Alaska, but it kinda sucked. Oh well, I guess that's just my bad luck. But I probably shouldn't complain. It's not like I'm in any pain. It's not like I'm sleeping out on the streets, or wondering if I'll be able to eat. Cold and alone and freezing my ass off, or hacking on my lungs with a really bad cough. People are dying, nothing's getting better. Take a deep breath, you know that the air ain't getting fresher. You're wasting your money on mountains of plastic, while children are starving. This problem is drastic and it's fucked up. And if you can't see that, then you're also a twit. He straight up denies that there's even a problem. You know, I really hope that somebody can stop him now. The government's full of corrupt politicians who want more of our money for pre-existing conditions. Climate change, poverty, religious conflicts. I don't believe in a God that plays favorites, 'cause that's stupid. Your skin color's different, black, white, or brown. Yeah, you're so fucking ignorant. You've got a penis, it doesn't mean that you're better. You go try to grab them by the pussy, I hope they cut off your pecker. Women and men should be treated as equal, and if you don't believe that, then you're fucking evil. Transgender, all genders, everyone matters. You know that it's the truth, just look at all the fucking factors, asshole. We should all work together before we all fall. Can't take all that money and stuff with you when you die. You should do something quick, 'cause we're running out of time. Do something good, help somebody out. These problems are growing so far beyond doubt. Get rid of your hate, don't be so malicious. And if there's any time left, then have a Merry Christmas. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jesus. Happy birthday to you. Isn't that what this is all about? Most people just think it's about buying stuff. I don't even remember anymore. Merry Christmas.